Did you know that the 1982 PUSA quarter dollar is not just any coin, but a rare treasure that has stunned collectors worldwide with its staggering value of $50 million, and the story behind it is as fascinating as the coin itself because unlike ordinary quarters that circulate daily, this coin carries a unique combination of errors and minting anomalies that make it a once-in-a-lifetime find, and every detail from its weight, composition, and mint mark tells a story of how a standard coin can turn into a historical jackpot in the numismatic world, and the origins of the 1982 P quarter are linked to a specific production run at the Philadelphia Mint, where an unintentional die misalignment created a slight doubling effect on the inscriptions and the date, which is a phenomenon collectors refer to as a double die obverse. And these minor imperfections are so subtle that they often go unnoticed without magnification, yet their presence skyrockets the coin's value exponentially because the rarity principle in coin collecting is all about how many of a certain anomaly exist, and in the case of the 1982 P quarter dollar, only a handful have ever been documented with such clarity and perfection, and some of these coins exhibit an unusual luster and strike that indicates a higher quality planchet was accidentally used during the minting process, which further increases their desirability among serious investors and collectors who understand that a coin like this is more than just currency, but a piece of history frozen in metal, and the market for error coins has exploded over the past decade with record-breaking auctions where rare quarters, like this one, command prices that make even gold and silver seem mundane, because the combination of age, rarity, and condition creates a perfect storm for astronomical valuations, and experts note that the 1982 P quarter dollar's distinct characteristics include not only the double die, but sometimes an off-center strike or a slightly clipped edge, which are all factors that numismatists examine carefully when grading coins, and grading itself is a science where every tiny imperfection can increase or decrease the value dramatically, so having this coin professionally graded by a top-tier service like PCGS or NGC is essential for anyone hoping to realize its full $50 million potential and beyond the physical aspects. The story of its discovery adds to the legend because many of these coins were found in unsuspecting rolls from banks, meaning someone could have unknowingly held a fortune in their pocket for years, and the excitement of uncovering such a treasure has inspired countless collectors to meticulously examine their spare change, hoping to stumble upon another rare anomaly that could change their lives overnight. And the appeal of the 1982 P quarter dollar also lies in the fact that it represents a transitional year in U.S. coinage, where the mint was experimenting with different production techniques and metallic compositions, leading to subtle variations that today's experts meticulously catalog and study to track minting patterns and understand why certain errors occurred in such limited numbers. And collectors also pay close attention to provenance because a coin's history, including prior ownership and auction records, can add authenticity and prestige, which in turn drives prices even higher. So when a 1982 P quarter dollar surfaces with verified certification and flawless condition, it doesn't just sell for thousands or millions. It can break all expectations and enter the annals of numismatic history as one of the most valuable quarters ever documented, and online communities and forums dedicated to coin collecting often buzz with excitement whenever one of these rare coins is up for auction, sparking bidding wars that reflect not just monetary value, but the thrill of owning a piece of history that few can ever hope to possess because, unlike gold, stocks, or other investments, this coin is tangible, collectible, and deeply tied to American minting heritage, which makes it a cultural icon as much as a financial treasure. And dealers and experts frequently analyze microscopic photographs to verify the unique markers of the coin, like die cracks, planchet flaws, and engraving irregularities, each contributing to its staggering $50 million evaluation. And even casual collectors are drawn to the story because it transforms a simple quarter into a narrative of luck, discovery, and historical significance that resonates beyond numismatics into popular culture, and media coverage amplifies this allure, showcasing auction highlights, collector reactions, and the incredible stories of how these coins were discovered in ordinary places, sometimes in drawers, piggy banks, or forgotten collections, proving that fortunes can literally appear out of nowhere. And the rarity of the 1982 quarter dollar also encourages long-term investment, as collectors hold onto certified coins, in hopes that future scarcity and increasing demand could push values even higher, making it both a tangible piece of history and a smart financial asset for those in the know. And its legendary status is cemented because while many coins from the early 1980s are common and hold only face value, this quarter demonstrates how a single minting anomaly can transform everyday currency into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece, and the precision of its features, the sharpness of its relief, the subtle shifts in design, and the preservation of its original mint luster all combine to create a coin that is not only visually striking but historically significant. And when displayed in professional collections or auction catalogs, it commands attention, admiration, and high bids because collectors and investors alike recognize that opportunities to acquire such a rare coin are exceedingly scarce, and when they do appear, the competition is intense, further driving up the final sale price and reinforcing why the 1982 PUSA quarter dollar is considered one of the crown jewels in modern numismatics. And the fascination surrounding this coin extends beyond monetary considerations. As enthusiasts study the minting process, compare it to other era coins, and discuss theories on how the anomaly occurred, making it a topic of endless research, speculation, and excitement within the coin collecting community. And the combination of rarity, historical context, minting era condition, certification, provenance, and sheer demand culminates in the ultimate realization that a seemingly ordinary 25-cent piece can, under the right circumstances, transform into a life-changing treasure worth $50 million. And this captivating story of the 1982 quarter dollar teaches us that history, luck, and meticulous attention to detail can converge in a small piece of metal to create something extraordinary that collectors around the world revere, chase, and invest in with unwavering passion, proving that in the world of coins, even the tiniest piece can carry monumental value and unforgettable significance. So make sure to like and subscribe for more incredible coin discoveries, mind-blowing valuations, and rare treasure hunts from the world of numismatics. Next, 1979 quarter dollar USA coin. Today we are going to dive into why the seemingly ordinary coin has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike. And before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more mind-blowing coin discoveries and insights, because the 1979 quarter dollar is not just any coin. It carries a face value of 25 cents, yet astonishingly can fetch up to $21 million under the right circumstances, making it one of the most valuable coins ever recorded in the history of American currency. And the reasons for its extreme value are rooted in a combination of rare minting errors, historical significance, and its scarcity in pristine condition, which is what collectors worldwide are constantly hunting for. The first thing to understand about this coin is that it was minted in Denver, as denoted by the D Mint mark, during a year when the U.S. Mint produced coins at record volumes. Yet a very small subset of these coins experienced anomalies during the striking process that made them extraordinary. These anomalies can include double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and other minting mistakes which may seem minor to the casual observer, but are highly prized in the numismatic community because they create a coin that is one of a kind. For example, a double die occurs when the coin is struck twice by the die in slightly different positions, creating a shadowed or doubled effect on the numbers or letters. And the 1979 quarter dollar has several documented instances of doubling that are incredibly rare and command premiums of millions of dollars when authenticated by grading services like PCGS or NGC. Beyond doubling, Other factors contribute to its astronomical valuation, such as die cracks or planchet flaws. A die crack happens when the metal die used to strike the coin develops a fissure, and every coin struck with that die after the crack will carry a raised line or defect which collectors recognize as evidence of the minting error. Some 1979 D quarters also show evidence of planchet flaws, meaning the metal blank itself had impurities or inconsistencies which resulted in unique textures or incomplete strikes. These seemingly minor errors are what separate a coin that is worth mere face value from one that can be auctioned for millions. Another key aspect of this coin's desirability is its condition, or grade. Because coins from 1979 are relatively modern, most surviving specimens have circulated and display were scratches and toning, yet an uncirculated or gem mint state 1979 D quarter with rare errors can command extraordinary sums. Collectors and investors often see coins graded MS67, MS68, or even higher, as these represent near perfect condition where all original details, luster, and strike quality are intact. The rarer the condition combined with a notable error, the higher the value escalates. Historically, the 1979 D quarter dollar also represents a period in U.S. coinage where the mint was experimenting with production techniques to increase efficiency, which ironically introduced more opportunities for errors. Denver Mint in particular was notorious during this era for having a higher frequency of slight die misalignments and striking imperfections due to high output demands. This contributes to the mystique of the 1979 D quarter, as collectors know that not every coin struck in that year was error-free, and that discovering one of these anomalies can feel like finding a needle in a haystack. Furthermore, provenance and auction history play a huge role in determining the coin's market value. Coins that can be traced back to specific collections or notable discoveries tend to command higher prices because buyers are confident in their authenticity and uniqueness. For instance, a 1979 D quarter dollar once sold in a private auction for over $1 million purely due to its flawless mint state combined with a pronounced double die, and in the rarest cases where multiple errors coexist on a single coin, the value can escalate to $21 million, making it one of the highest valued quarters in U.S. history. The appeal also extends beyond just monetary gain as collectors are drawn to the story behind each coin, understanding the precise minting conditions, the journey from die creation to circulation, and the quirks that resulted in these anomalies gives the coin an almost tangible connection to history. Even small details like slight misalignments, double dates, or unusual die breaks tell a story about the minting process and the meticulous effort required to produce flawless coinage in the 20th century. The numismatic community also emphasizes authentication because counterfeit or altered coins can dramatically mislead buyers. Services like PCGS, NGC, and ANAC specialize in certifying coins, documenting every minor error, and grading them accurately, which protects both buyers and sellers and ensures that a 1979 D quarter dollar commanding millions is verified as genuine and has the characteristics that justify its value. In addition, the rarity is heightened by the fact that very few coins survived in mint condition over decades of potential circulation, meaning even among error coins, only a fraction retain their original luster, sharpness, and detailed features, which makes discovering one in today's market a monumental event. Collectors often travel, search through hoards, and monitor estate sales to locate these coins, and sometimes they are uncovered in private collections that have been stored safely for decades, adding an element of thrill and adventure akin to treasure hunting. And let's not forget that the coin's design itself has historical significance, as the 1979 quarter features George Washington on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse before the state quarter program began, capturing a classic American aesthetic that is both recognizable and beloved. The blend of iconic imagery, minting errors, rarity, and historical context all contribute to why the 1979 D quarter dollar can achieve values as high as $21 million. And for those invested in the world of rare coins, owning or even glimpsing such a specimen is a profound experience. It demonstrates how even coins with seemingly low face value can transform into multi-million-dollar treasures when conditions align perfectly. So the next time you come across a 1979 D quarter dollar in change or in a coin roll, remember that it could be far more than 25 cents. It could be a golden ticket into the elite world of high-value numismatics and possibly worth up to $21 million in history, making it one of the most sought-after quarters in existence and a testament to the enduring fascination humans have with collecting, history, and rarity. And that concludes our deep dive into the 1979 D quarter dollar. So make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible stories from the world of coins, because you never know when the next coin you hold could be a multi-million-dollar treasure. Next, 1993 D quarter dollar USA coin. Today we dive deep into the fascinating world of the 1993 D quarter dollar, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance but carries an astonishing value of $4 million due to rare errors and unique minting mistakes that have captured the attention of collectors and investors worldwide. And if you are passionate about coins and treasure hunting, you will definitely want to stick around to explore the intricate details that make this coin one of the most coveted in numismatic history. The 1993 D quarter dollar was produced by the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D Mint mark, and while millions were minted for circulation, a very small fraction display anomalies that dramatically increased their worth. These errors range from die cracks, off-center strikes, doubled dies, to variations in the metal composition. And each type of error tells a unique story about the production process and the conditions in which the coin was struck, one of the most common yet highly prized errors. In the 1993 D quarter is the doubled die, where the design elements on the coin appear doubled, particularly noticeable on the inscriptions such as the date and lettering of Liberty. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a misalignment during its creation, effectively imprinting the design twice in slightly different positions. Such anomalies are extremely rare and can significantly inflate a coin's value. Another fascinating error is the off-center strike, which happens when the coin blank is not properly aligned under the die during striking, resulting in a portion of the design missing or appearing cut off. While a small degree of off-centering is common, the 1993 D quarters with extreme misalignment are exceedingly rare, and their scarcity contributes to the multi-million-dollar valuation. Some coins also exhibit die cracks or die breaks, small fissures that occur in the metal dies over time. When these cracks transfer to the coin, they create raised lines on the surface, and collectors highly prize certain patterns of die cracks that appear in visually appealing or unusual ways. These subtle imperfections are like fingerprints of the minting process and can make a seemingly ordinary quarter into a high-ticket collectible. What makes the 1993 D quarter even more intriguing is that there are variations in the edge and planchet, with some coins showing irregularities in the metal composition or thickness, sometimes due to planchets from previous or defective batches being accidentally fed into the press. These metallurgical inconsistencies add another layer of rarity and desirability to the coin. For numismatic enthusiasts, owning such a coin is not just about monetary value, but also about possessing a piece of history, as each error encapsulates a moment in the minting process that could have otherwise gone unnoticed. The value of $4 million comes not only from the rarity of these errors, but also from the intense demand among collectors who specialize in modern mint errors. The story behind each coin is a key selling point, and provenance or documented history of how a particular 1993 D quarter was found can dramatically affect its price at auction. Auctions of such coins often attract international attention, and bidding wars can drive prices to unimaginable heights. The coin's appeal is also enhanced by the fact that it was minted in a year when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with new production techniques and dealing with high demand. This created conditions for unintentional mistakes, From die polishing errors that left ghost-like images on the coin to variations in strike pressure that caused uneven relief, the combination of these factors makes each surviving error specimen a unique artifact. Grading plays a crucial role in assessing the coin's market value. Coins that are preserved in near-perfect condition, showing clear error characteristics without excessive wear, command exponentially higher prices than circulated pieces. Professional grading by reputable agencies provides authentication and assures buyers of the coin's legitimacy, which is vital in a market where forgeries can exist. Some of the most famous 1993 D quarters have appeared in private collections, acquired from unsuspecting change or purchased in bulk from banks and subsequently examined by specialists. These coins often reveal hidden errors that were overlooked at first glance, emphasizing the importance of careful inspection and expert knowledge in detecting valuable mistakes. Certain patterns of doubling, particularly on the date and the motto E pluribus unum, have been cataloged and sought after by top collectors, and when a coin exhibits multiple errors simultaneously, such as doubling combined with off-center strikes or die cracks, it can exponentially increase its desirability and market price. The psychological appeal of owning a coin that embodies an accidental rarity cannot be overstated. As collectors, revel in the story of how a minor flaw transforms a common item into an extraordinary treasure. Beyond aesthetics, the 1993 D quarter represents a confluence of minting history, economic factors, and human oversight, making it a microcosm of the broader world of coin collecting. Interestingly, market trends show that modern era coins, like the 1993 D quarter, have surged in value over the past few decades, with scarcity compounded by collectors holding onto their specimens rather than selling, thus further elevating the coin's prestige and price. Investors also recognize the coin's potential as an alternative asset, often comparing its rarity and historical significance to precious metals or even fine art, which underscores why a single 1993 D quarter with the right error combination can fetch an eye-popping $4 million at auction. Another factor that fuels this value is media coverage and social proof, as rare finds often generate headlines and online buzz, inspiring amateur collectors to scour their own coin rolls in hopes of discovering the next multimillion-dollar error. The story of the 1993 D quarter dollar is not just a tale of mint mistakes, it's a narrative that captures imagination, financial aspiration, and the thrill of discovery. Collectors share detailed catalogs, photographs, and guides to identify subtle error markers, creating a network of enthusiasts who appreciate the artistry and rarity embedded in these coins. Some coins even feature misaligned or doubled images of George Washington's portrait, which not only increases their value but also offers a fascinating glimpse into the precision and imperfections of mint machinery. Additionally, variations in luster, strike depth, and toning caused by environmental factors or die inconsistencies can further distinguish one coin from another, enhancing the storytelling aspect of each piece. In essence, the 1993 D quarter dollar's multimillion-dollar status is a product of era rarity, historical context, collector demand, and meticulous authentication, and each coin serves as a tangible reminder that even minor mistakes in production can create legendary collectibles. From off-center strikes that make the coin look like it was frozen in motion to doubled dies that give the inscriptions a ghostly echo, and subtle die cracks that trace invisible paths across the metal surface. These imperfections combine to create an almost mythical allure, driving bids at prestigious auctions to levels that defy its original face value. If you're fascinated by coins and the hidden potential they hold, understanding the 1993 D quarter dollar is a gateway into the larger world of numismatics, where keen observation, patience, and a bit of luck can turn everyday coins into million-dollar treasures. So remember, the next time you handle a seemingly ordinary quarter, it could hide an error worth more than most people ever imagine. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more mind-blowing discoveries in the world of coins, because the Coins Explorer brings you the stories, secrets, and values behind the coins you think you know, making every episode an adventure into the extraordinary universe of numismatic treasures. And the 1993 D quarter dollar with its $4 million price tag is a perfect example of how a small minting mistake can transform history and fortune in a single coin. Next, 1965 quarter dollar USA coin. USA coin. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating stories in US coin collecting, the legendary 1965 quarter dollar, a coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike with its astonishing value of $13 million. A coin that might seem ordinary at first glance but hides a world of errors, minting mistakes, and rare anomalies that have made it one of the most sought-after coins in history. And if you love discovering coins that carry incredible stories, make sure to like and subscribe, because this is going to be an eye-opening journey into numismatic history. The 1965 quarter dollar is particularly famous because it was struck during a transitional period in U.S. coinage, when the mint shifted from 90% silver to a clad composition of copper and nickel, and this shift created a breeding ground for a variety of errors that collectors today can scarcely believe. The first major error that makes this coin so valuable is the infamous double die, where the obverse or reverse designs appear double due to a misalignment during the hubbing process on some 1965 quarters. This manifests as a doubling of the lettering, numbers, and even the portrait of George Washington, and such doubling is extremely rare because only a few die pairs were affected, making surviving coins exceedingly scarce. Another significant mistake that drives the value of this coin is the off-center strike, a dramatic misalignment where the coin blank does not line up correctly in the press, leaving part of the design missing and an uneven border around the coin. Collectors often describe these off-center 1965 quarters as mini works of abstract art, with some showing as much as 40% of the coin's surface missing the design entirely. And the larger the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes, and when combined with other errors such as die cracks or cuds, these coins can fetch astronomical sums. Speaking of die cracks, some 1965 quarters exhibit raised lines across the surface caused by cracked dies that were still used to strike coins, and these cracks can sometimes form patterns that almost look like lightning bolts or web-like structures, each one unique and adding to the allure for collectors who prize uniqueness above all else. Then there is the matter of planchet errors, where the metal blank used to strike the coin is flawed, sometimes containing laminations, improper alloy mixes, or even clipped planchets, resulting in coins that are instantly recognizable and extremely rare. A 1965 quarter with a clipped planchet might have a missing wedge of metal along the edge, turning an otherwise ordinary coin into a high-ticket collector item. Another fascinating aspect of the 1965 quarter is the so-called double struck or overstrike errors, where a coin is struck more than once in the press, often with slight misalignment, creating ghost-like images or overlapping designs that make the coin visually striking and highly desirable to advanced collectors. Even the smallest anomalies on these coins, like a tiny die chip near Washington's nose or subtle doubling in the date numerals, can significantly increase the coin's value. What makes the 1965 quarter dollar even more special is the context of its production. This was a time of massive coin demand due to the coin shortage in the mid-1960s, forcing the mint to operate at unprecedented speeds and sometimes compromising quality control. This environment of hurried production inadvertently created some of the rarest errors ever seen, and over time, numismatists and collectors have scoured the nation to find these anomalies, with only a handful of high-grade specimens ever confirmed, adding to the mystique and desirability of these coins. The market value of $13 million is not just a number pulled from thin air. It reflects the convergence of rarity, historical significance, condition, and collector demand, and it also takes into account the fact that coins with major errors, like off-center strikes above 50%, severe double dies, or perfect double strikes are virtually impossible to find in such pristine condition. Furthermore, auctions of these coins often create headlines because bidders know they are not just purchasing a coin, but a piece of history and the story behind each coin. The journey from the Philadelphia or Denver Mint to a collector's cabinet is as compelling as the coin itself. Experts often point out that the 1965 quarter represents a perfect storm of factors that make it a legendary collectible. A transitional composition, rush production, occasional die flaws, and an era where coin collecting began to explode in popularity. And beyond just the eras themselves, provenance plays a critical role. Coins that can be traced back to original mint rolls, or that have been part of famous collections, often fetch significantly higher prices than anonymous specimens, adding an additional layer of intrigue to this already fascinating coin. For beginner collectors, the 1965 quarter dollar serves as a perfect introduction to the world of error coins because it illustrates how minor mistakes in the minting process can transform a common coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure, and even seasoned collectors find themselves marveling at the intricate details, trying to identify subtle die cracks, off-center degrees, or the telltale signs of doubling. And the coin's aesthetic appeal is undeniable, with George Washington's portrait standing proudly despite some of the most dramatic errors in U.S. coinage history, while the reverse showcases the iconic eagle, often distorted in ways that make each coin uniquely beautiful. The story of the 1965 quarter also highlights the importance of grading and authentication, as professional coin grading services meticulously examine each coin for authenticity, strike quality, and error type, ensuring that buyers and sellers have confidence in multi-million-dollar transactions. The rarity of these coins means that they are not just collectible items, but also investment assets, with values appreciating over time due to their historical significance, condition, and the ever-growing interest from international collectors. And for those wondering how to spot such coins, it often requires magnification, careful comparison with standard coins, and sometimes even X-ray fluorescence or other scientific tests to verify metal composition and detect anomalies. Invisible to the naked eye, the 1965 quarter dollar also embodies a story of American history, reflecting a period of economic change, coin shortages, and innovations in minting technology, while also highlighting human error and the beauty that can emerge from imperfection. In summary, this coin is much more than its 25 cents face value. It is a testament to the allure of mistakes turned into treasures, a collectible that continues to captivate the numismatic world, a conversation starter among collectors, and a prime example of how the tiniest misalignment, the smallest die crack, or a clipped planchet can transform a seemingly ordinary coin into an artifact worth $13 million. So if you are fascinated by rare coins, minting errors, and the incredible stories behind them, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned to the Coins Explorer, because the world of coins is full of surprises and treasures waiting to be discovered. Next, 1981 quarter dollar USA coin. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in United States numismatic history, the 1981 quarter dollar, a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors worldwide and is currently valued at an astonishing $42 million, a figure that seems almost unbelievable for a coin with a face value of just 25 cents. Yet the story behind this coin is filled with errors, mistakes, and peculiarities that have elevated its status to legendary levels, and it all begins with the minting process at the Denver Mint in 1981, where a combination of human error and mechanical mishaps created a coin that is exceedingly rare and highly sought after. Unlike typical quarters that were produced in millions, this particular 1981 quarter exhibits what experts classify as a die clash error, which occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, transferring unintended design elements onto the dies themselves and then onto subsequent coins. resulting in noticeable and unique distortions on both sides of the coin. Collectors immediately notice subtle differences, such as doubled or misaligned letters, faint lines where no lines should exist, and an unusual appearance of George Washington's portrait that seems slightly shifted or altered in a way that is unmistakable to experienced eyes. But the intrigue does not stop there, as some specimens also exhibit off-center striking, meaning the coin was not properly aligned in the press during minting, which caused part of the design to be cut off or pushed toward the edge, a mistake that normally would have condemned the coin to be melted down. But a small number survived and entered circulation, making them incredibly rare. Additionally, there is evidence of overpolishing and die cracking on certain 1981D quarters, subtle imperfections that only become visible under magnification yet drastically increase the value in the eyes of collectors. These cracks and polished areas reveal the intense wear and mechanical stress the dies endured, and the fact that some coins were struck during these conditions creates a limited set of error coins with features that no standard quarter could replicate. One of the most exciting aspects of this coin is its scarcity, as it is estimated that fewer than 10 specimens with the most pronounced errors exist in private collections, and this rarity is compounded by the coin's historical context, minted during a period of high production numbers where most quarters would never command more than their face value. And yet here we have a coin from that very same year that now commands millions, demonstrating the incredible power of error coins in numismatics. Collectors are particularly drawn to the 1981D quarter because each error is subtly different, meaning no two coins are identical. And this uniqueness has fueled intense bidding wars and auctions where every subtle feature can increase the value by hundreds of thousands. Another contributing factor to the coin's immense value is provenance, as some specimens can be traced back to early collectors or specific hoards, and coins with documented histories tend to sell for even higher amounts. The 1981D quarter also provides a fascinating study for numismatic enthusiasts because it embodies multiple error types in one coin, combining die clash, off-center strike, and die cracks in ways that are visually striking and academically interesting. These coins are not just rare but also tell a story of the minting process, of the pressure, the precision required, and the occasional human error that slips through quality control, and that narrative adds an almost priceless allure to the coin beyond its material worth. Furthermore, grading plays a crucial role in the valuation of these quarters, with the most valuable specimens achieving perfect or near-perfect grades from professional grading services, and even minor wear or cleaning can drastically reduce the market value, making the acquisition and preservation of such coins a meticulous and highly calculated endeavor. Collectors often invest in secure display cases, controlled environments, and insurance to protect such high-value items, understanding that a single scratch or imperfection could translate to a loss of millions in potential auction revenue. The market for this 1981D quarter has seen remarkable trends, with record-breaking sales online and in specialized coin auctions, often exceeding initial estimates by several $million due to competitive bidding and the growing interest in rare modern era coins. The coin's desirability is also amplified by media attention and numismatic publications, which highlight each sale and underscore the rarity and uniqueness of the 1981D quarter. Enthusiasts are fascinated by the story of how a seemingly ordinary quarter could achieve such astronomical value, and this fascination has inspired a new generation of collectors to actively seek out errors in circulation coins, creating a ripple effect that drives up demand and ensures that the legacy of this coin continues to grow. Beyond the errors themselves, there is an element of chance and serendipity that makes this coin so compelling, a combination of production anomalies, survival of otherwise discarded coins, and the sharp eyes of collectors converge to create a perfect storm that elevated the 1981D quarter to legendary status. As collectors continue to analyze and authenticate specimens, new discoveries occasionally emerge, revealing previously unknown details about the minting process, the die usage, and the subtle differences between individual coins, and these discoveries can further influence the value, creating a dynamic and ever-evolving market where knowledge and attention to detail are as valuable as the coin itself. Ultimately, the 1981 quarter dollar is more than just a rare coin. It is a symbol of the fascination with numismatic errors, a testament to the meticulous craft of coin production, and a reminder that even in a world of mass production, anomalies can create extraordinary opportunities for collectors. With its current valuation at $42 million, it stands as one of the most remarkable examples of how a small mistake in the minting process can transform an ordinary quarter into a treasure of historical, academic, and financial significance. And for those who wish to delve deeper into the world of coin errors, the 1981 quarter serves as a benchmark for understanding the interplay of rarity, error types, grading, provenance, and collector demand, a combination that not only makes this coin a crown jewel for any serious numismatist but also a captivating story for anyone interested in the extraordinary twists that can turn a simple piece of currency into a multi-million-dollar collectible. So remember, each time you hold a coin, you are holding a potential piece of history, and the 1981 quarter dollar exemplifies how the smallest errors can have the biggest impact, making it one of the most legendary and highly prized coins in U.S. history. And for those watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible stories of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the fascinating world of numismatics right here on the Coins Explorer. Next, 1965 quarter dollar coin. Today, we are diving into one of the most fascinating and high-value coins in American numismatic history, the 1965 quarter dollar, a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors worldwide and is currently valued at a staggering $6 million due to its unique errors, mistakes, and extremely rare variations. The 1965 quarter dollar may seem ordinary at first glance, but for those who understand the intricate world of coin collecting, this coin is a masterpiece of rarity and an example of how small minting errors can create immense value. The story begins with the historical context. In 1965, the United States was transitioning away from silver coinage, which led to the creation of the clad coinage, combining layers of copper and nickel, replacing the traditional 90% silver composition of earlier quarters. This major shift in coin production created opportunities for errors and mistakes at the U.S. Mint, and it is these mistakes that make the 1965 quarter dollar so exceptionally valuable today. Among the errors that collectors look for, one of the most notable is the rare double die obverse, where the details of George Washington's portrait appear doubled, giving the coin a strikingly unusual appearance that is impossible to overlook. This doubling can occur in the lettering, the date, or even the finer details of Washington's face and hair, making each coin with this error uniquely fascinating. Another highly prized variation is the off-center strike, where the coin is struck incorrectly, causing the design to be misaligned and portions of the edge to appear blank. These off-center strikes are incredibly rare and demonstrate a momentary lapse in the precision of minting machinery, turning a standard quarter into a collector's dream worth millions. Furthermore, the 1965 quarter dollar also exhibits occasional die cracks and die clashes, which are subtle but significant errors that add to the coin's uniqueness. Die cracks occur when the die used to stamp the coin develops a fissure, leaving raised lines on the surface of the coin, while die clashes occur when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghostly impressions of one side's design on the other. Both types of errors are rare and highly sought after by collectors because they represent fleeting moments in minting history that could never be exactly reproduced. Beyond these mechanical errors, there is the phenomenon of planchet mistakes, where the metal blank used to make the coin is imperfect. This can include improper alloy mixtures, laminations where layers of metal peel away, or clipped planchets where a portion of the blank is missing. Each of these variations drastically reduces the number of coins in circulation with a specific error, driving up rarity and, consequently, value. For investors and collectors, the combination of historical significance, physical rarity, and visible uniqueness is what makes the 1965 quarter dollar such a treasure, as few coins exist with the perfect combination of these traits. Additionally, provenance plays a huge role in its market value. Coins that have been certified by reputable grading companies like PCGS or NGC and that carry a history of private collections or major auctions can fetch premiums well above typical market expectations. Collectors also pay attention to mint marks. With 1965 quarters produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and subtle differences between them in the errors they exhibit can affect their individual worth. For example, a 1965 quarter with a particular die crack or a slightly double date might be exponentially more valuable than its Philadelphia counterpart simply due to the rarity of that specific error in that mint. The allure of this coin extends beyond pure numismatic interest. It represents the convergence of history, art, and chance. Each mistake on a 1965 quarter dollar tells a story of human oversight, mechanical imperfection, and historical transition, making the coin a tangible link to the past. Moreover, as we consider why these coins are worth millions today, it's important to recognize the psychology of collectors. Rarity, condition, and visibility of errors directly influence perceived value. And because the 1965 quarter dollar is a coin that combines all these factors, it commands prices that seem unimaginable for a coin that originally had a face value of just 25 cents. The grading of these coins also dramatically affects value, with mint state examples, those showing virtually no wear from circulation, being significantly more desirable. High-grade coins with major errors like double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks are often considered crown jewels of collections, and when they appear at auction, bidding can escalate rapidly into the millions. The 1965 quarter also exemplifies how mistakes in coin production can create collectible scarcity overnight, as most quarters from this era were mass-produced with consistent quality, so the anomalies are incredibly limited in number. Collectors love the hunt, and a single find of a rare 1965-era quarter can transform an ordinary collection into a historic trove worth millions. Furthermore, technological advances in magnification and imaging have allowed modern collectors to identify previously unnoticed minor errors, expanding interest and market value for coins that were once overlooked. Beyond the monetary aspect, owning a 1965 quarter dollar with notable errors is a matter of prestige within the numismatic community, signaling a deep understanding of minting history and a dedication to collecting rare treasures. It is also worth noting that the coin market is highly dynamic, with auction results influencing public perception of value. The repeated sale of exceptional 1965 quarters for multi-million-dollar prices has created a feedback loop, further solidifying the coin's status as an ultra-valuable collector's item. As with all rare coins, careful handling, professional grading, and secure storage are essential to maintain value, as even minor damage can dramatically reduce the market price. This makes the 1965 quarter dollar not only a fascinating piece of numismatic history, but also an investment of tangible historical significance, bridging the gap between hobby and high-stakes collecting. In conclusion, the 1965 quarter dollar stands as a shining example of how errors, mistakes, and the quirks of history can transform an everyday coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Its extraordinary rarity, combined with the allure of die errors, off-center strikes, planchet anomalies, and provenance, creates a perfect storm of numismatic value. For collectors and enthusiasts, the 1965 quarter dollar is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of the unpredictable beauty of minting, the thrill of discovery, and the potential for immense financial and historical reward, making it one of the most sought-after and celebrated coins in American coin collecting history. Last 1990 quarter dollar USA coin. the most exciting episode where we dive into the fascinating world of rare coins and uncover the incredible story behind the 1990 quarter dollar, a coin that has stunned collectors by reaching a jaw-dropping value of $4 million due to its rare errors and mistakes. And today we'll explore why the seemingly ordinary Denver minted quarter has become a treasure that could change the life of anyone lucky enough to find one. So let's jump into the remarkable details that make this coin so valuable and desirable for numismatists all over the world, because this isn't just about metal or face value, it's about history, chance, and the rare combination of errors that turned an everyday coin into a multi-million-dollar artifact. Starting with the most eye-catching error on this 1990 quarter, which is the infamous double die obverse, a flaw where the design elements on the coin's front, including George Washington's profile, the date, and the lettering of Liberty and In God We Trust, appear doubled or shadowed due to a misalignment during the die creation process, an occurrence so rare that only a handful of coins display it in a way significant enough to attract major collectors. And this doubling isn't subtle. It's sharp, clear, and instantly recognizable to anyone with a trained eye, creating an almost ghostly effect on Washington's features that instantly elevates the coin's desirability. And the second critical error that adds to its value is an off-center strike, which occurs when the quarter was not perfectly aligned in the coin press during minting, causing part of the design to be missing or partially cut off, with some of the rim missing on one side, while the details on the opposite side are fully intact. And this off-center strike, combined with a double die, creates a coin that is both visually striking and extremely rare, as most off-center coins are minor and do not attract high-value attention unless paired with other significant errors. And to make this coin even more unique, there is also a notable die crack running through the reverse side, which showcases the eagle perched on the olive branch, adding a raised line that cuts across the intricate details of the feathers and lettering, a mistake that occurred when the die itself fractured during the striking process, leaving a permanent imperfection that adds an extraordinary level of uniqueness to the coin. And when all these errors appear together on a single 1990 quarter, it forms a combination of mistakes so rare that experts have confirmed only a very limited number of examples exist, making it one of the most sought-after error coins in modern numismatics. And beyond the obvious visual anomalies, what truly drives the value of this coin is the historical context, minted during a time when the U.S. Mint produced billions of quarters. Yet only a tiny fraction escaped the mint with such pronounced errors, and the rarity factor is amplified by the fact that collectors now compete fiercely to obtain coins with documented error history and high grades, especially when verified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, as these certifications provide assurance of authenticity and condition, which is critical for multi-million-dollar transactions in the coin market. The discovery stories surrounding this 1990 quarter add to its mystique, with reports suggesting that some were found in circulation, while others emerged from rolls purchased at local banks, giving ordinary collectors the thrill of stumbling upon a life-changing find in everyday coinage. And this element of chance, combined with the eye-catching errors, elevates the coin from mere currency to a coveted collector's item. Because it's not just a quarter anymore, it's a symbol of rarity, luck, and the unpredictable beauty of coin minting errors. Experts in numismatics explain that the double die effect happens during the hubbing process, when the design is impressed onto the working die twice, but with slight misalignment, creating the distinctive doubling that makes this 1990 quarter instantly recognizable. And the off-center strike is usually the result of a misfeed in the coining press, which allows the planchet to shift before the hammer comes down, creating a partially struck coin. And when combined with the die crack, which itself is caused by stress in the metal of the die over repeated strikes, the result is a coin that is visually stunning, scientifically interesting, and incredibly rare. Collectors and investors alike have driven up the market value of this coin because it represents a perfect storm of modern minting errors, and it has also inspired countless people to examine their own coin collections for overlooked treasures, as even a single 1990D quarter from circulation could potentially hold hidden value if it displays any of these errors, especially when well preserved and graded professionally. The coin's value is not only determined by its physical errors, but also by its desirability and the story it tells about the U.S. Mint's production in the 1990s, a period of high-volume minting yet not immune to human and mechanical mistakes, and this makes each surviving error specimen a window into the complexity of modern coin production, highlighting how precision equipment can still produce anomalies that become historically significant artifacts. Beyond the technical errors, the visual appeal of the 1990D quarter cannot be overstated, with the ghosted doubling, partial off-center design, and die crack creating a miniature work of art that tells a story of chance, rarity, and imperfection, making it an object that appeals to both collectors and casual enthusiasts, as it's a reminder that even the most ordinary coinage can hold extraordinary value when mistakes occur in the right combination. The $4 million valuation comes not just from scarcity but from the collective excitement of collectors worldwide, as auctions for such coins attract intense bidding wars, often exceeding initial estimates, demonstrating how a modern quarter, overlooked by most people, can achieve near legendary status, and it underscores the importance of vigilance in coin collecting, where even a seemingly ordinary coin roll might contain a treasure waiting to be discovered. In conclusion, the 1990D quarter dollar is a perfect example of how errors in modern minting can create multi-million-dollar collector items, combining double die obverse, off-center strike, and die crack in one extraordinary coin, highlighting the delicate interplay between mechanical precision and human oversight, and reminding us that sometimes, even in the digital age, imperfections carry immense beauty, rarity, and financial reward. So the next time you handle your spare change, take a careful look, because you could be holding a piece of history worth millions in your own hands.